Hey everybody that watches this later. Nobody's on yet, so kind of cool out here. Ain't too bad right now. It's 27. Fixing going on a grocery run. Whew. What's going on? I can't see any chat right now. We're just going on a little bit. I gotta go get some bread and stuff, so hold on. Turn that area down a little bit. Hey Phyllis. Hope y'all enjoyed your supper last night. Shut up, Wendell. Hey Roger, how you doing? Pyro. Well, it's on the way, Pyro. Actually, I'm about to go on bread and we don't need many things. I got to pick up some stuff at the pharmacy. I did my CT scan yesterday. They're measuring. That's to measure my hip, I guess, so they can make my bionic hip. And I've got to go back to the doctor February the 11th. We're getting everything ready. I got to go to my regular doctor so I can get released to have surgery. So it's getting down to the nitty gritty. It's taking a while, y'all. I mean, this is, if you need anything done fast, you know. Hey Billy. Yeah, it's been, I've been out of work too long, and times are tough anyway, so I don't know how that's going. But anyway, but hopefully I can get this thing done, and maybe the recovery process won't be too bad. I've been doing as advised, trying to keep somewhat active, so I won't, so I won't be too weak. But I can only do so much. I mean, like right now, hey Carl, like right now I'm going to the grocery store, and that'll be my activity for today. The good news, I haven't had to use my cane as much, but it's because I'm resting it. If I was to have to get out and mow the yard or something, I'd probably be on the cane for a few days. So well, Phyllis, that gives me hope. I mean, I've had a lot of people tell me the same thing, so hopefully it'll be as successful as everybody I've talked to. Hey Bar. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I've got some things coming in my studio. It's funny, it looks pretty good, but if y'all knew what we used, I used to, I wanted that green wall and everything and all that covered, and so we found 2 cheap rugs, floor rugs, 3x5. And I thought, you know what? When you turn the lights off, that might look pretty good, and we could put some neon and stuff on there, and it looks. Wendell's getting a new hat. What is it, a Squatch and Holler hat? I ain't made any of those. Wendell probably have the first one. He'll probably have one made. I thought about getting a tattoo, my logo. I get bullied at school. Good morning, Pinto. I mean, you know what? I went through that. My son went through that. My daughter went through that. My dad went through that. You're not alone. Bonjour. I guess that's French and country accent. A Barney 5 hat, yeah. Because my name is Willie Gay. Well, I guess we all got bullied at some point. It sucks, but it's all how you handle it. You know, just be strong. I won't give you the advice that I gave my son. He stopped his bully pretty quick. Drinking coffee. Just slapped my logo sticker on the Heather's Heather's cup. Well, Pinto, I hope you're joking. Like, I hope you're trolling a little bit with these lies, which happens, but don't worry about it. Just don't. I mean, I could give you some advice if that's what you're really looking for, but I probably don't need to do that publicly. I'm from southern Middle Tennessee, 50 miles south of Nashville, and I'm about 20 miles north of the Alabama line. It's, you know, what I was going to tell the folk. There's a lot of people here that we know, and there's some, you know, when you do a live like this, a lot of people come in that don't know what you're about. And basically what we talk about is Bigfoot and other cryptids, ghosts, stuff like that, things that have happened to us, and we don't judge people for stuff that's happened to them, or, you know, whatever, no matter how crazy it may sound, because a lot of us here have had things happen. But last night, guys, for y'all that's been with it a long time, I got contacted a couple days ago from a local person, and again, this one doesn't want to be the name out there yet, but I think he'll be on with Jeremiah Byron on Bigfoot Society later. So, hey, Misty. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Nashville's not too far. It's changed a lot in the last few years. We got a lot of people moving in. Thank you, Kobe. Y'all, this is up on the window so I can see. Hey, Misty, you feeling better? Two old men were talking about you on the internet the other night and told everybody you were sick, so they could send prayers and stuff. Hey, Muddy Creek. Hey, Richard. But he told me I could tell his story. I'll tell it quickly. So y'all have heard me talk about Blue Creek, which Blue Creek Road's only it's less than 5 miles. Billy, I saw that. Hope everybody else didn't. Yes, it's less than 5 miles towards the interstate over here. Is Blue Creek Road. So when somebody says the Blue Creek area, it's a pretty good area. And there's a lot of rich people who bought up land back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and they still have a lot of it. And it's not developed. There's a few houses, and they're scattered, maybe a mile or so in between what houses are there. The big houses that the rich people built are hidden off back in the in the hills. And so this person said he was 10 years old in 95. He grew up there, and the house was sitting on top of a cave system, which was pretty interesting. That his dad had, I guess he was scared they were going to get in there and get hurt or whatever. It said the caves actually went under the house. The house was built on top of it, and so he blocked it in. And he was talking about strange things happening. But he said he was riding his bicycle to a friend's house, probably about a mile, and play all day. And a few times he came back a little late. It was after dark, at dusk, after dark, and he heard something trailing him, walking. And he said it was strange because he could hear the footsteps, and it was big, and it scared him. He was 10 years old, and he said that happened to him a couple of times. So when I Google mapped the address of where he grew up at, it's amazing. There's nothing. There's fields, creek, ponds, lots of area for something to live and be, stay hidden if you want to. So anyway, he said this went on. He started getting a feeling after that, every now and then, not every day, that he's being watched from the back of the woods. And his bedroom was on that side of the back of the house where the woods and stuff, where they were. And he said one night he couldn't sleep, nothing unusual, and he got up, went to the kitchen and got a couple snacks out of the fridge, sneaking back down the hallway so he don't wake his parents up. And when he went in his room, there was a security light, but it wasn't visible. It was on the other side of the house. You know how that'll light up back there, and it'll be dark close to the house and whatever. He said he looked out the window, and he said there was a Bigfoot looking at me. I said, how close? He said, very close. He said that I was asking him questions and letting him tell a story, but asking him different questions. But he said the eye shine was yellowish, and I asked him, I said, you sure it was eye shine or was it eye glow? And he paused. He said, you know what? I've never thought about that. I don't know. So he said as soon as he saw what it was, the outline of it, the eyes, he said, the light wasn't on the face, but it was he said it was just huge. And he said he was inside the house and he was looking up at it, and he's going to contact his dad, who still lives there, and see if we can go and look at the tree it was standing beside. He's going to show me. We'll try to get a height from that. He guesstimated a little bit, but we can get a better. And I'll film, if they'll let me. I'll film all that. It'll have to be after the hip surgery for sure, because he said we could go walk. They have 100 acres. Said we could walk and look. But it was pretty intense for him, and he said, being a 10-year-old kid, he dropped down and ran to his bed and pulled the covers over his head. He said like that was going to help. And I said, well, that's, even adults do that, so don't worry about it. And some of y'all probably realize you have a wrench. I think you're supposed to. And I don't know how long it takes to go into effect. I see one that doesn't, and maybe they didn't take effect. I handed out some wrenches the other night, and maybe I handed out too many. It wouldn't let me hand out more, but anyway, so after the sighting, he said that was the only time he's ever seen a Bigfoot, and he went down the same path we all did. After you see one, you become interested. There wasn't a whole lot at the school library, and that's kind of what I went through. I didn't have access to the library in town because we live so far out in the country. We just didn't get to town like that. So of course there was no internet back then. Well, this was in 95, so I guess all that maybe was just starting, and he really didn't watch Misty, can you take care of that for me? Or anybody with a wrench, you see it. Hey, Lisa. Anybody with a wrench? Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. See, I love if you can do that, because that's uncalled for. I mean, if he was brave, he would just put the whole word out in one and not split it up like we wouldn't know. Like we're, hey, don't time him out. Get him out of here for good. If he pops back up. Wait a minute. He was timed out by Misty Haynes for 86,000 seconds. You're good. I just saw that. Thank you. 86,000 seconds. Anybody know what that is? How long that is? But yeah, maybe he'll be never mind. Thank you, Misty. 24 hours. he won't be back. That when you do a live like this, it just shows everybody, and people come in. And so anyway, getting back to the story, he said that, and I talked to him last night for a while, and he's really one of those that don't know a whole lot about this subject other than what he's experienced and a little bit of reading and watching the TV shows, a little bit. And so he had no idea the connections, and but he said that and usually when he was at home alone, there would be three hard knocks on the wall, would shake that end of the house, and he would tell his mom and dad about it, and they laughed at him, and oh, you're just imagining things. He said his mama was home one day or one evening, they were there by themselves, and it happened, and she came running there and said, "What are you doing in here? What was that?" And he said, that's the three, I don't know what he called them. It wasn't knocks, but that was something beating on the wall. It does it 3 times every time, and it's heavy. And I told you, so then after he told her that, he said that his brother, and his mom, was coming home one night and saw a UFO, and the description he gave was pretty intense. And of course his dad laughed at him, and it made jokes about them being abducted. So that's what a lot of people go through. You feel like you can't talk to people, but last night I told him, look, you're good. You can let it all out. And I think it might have been practiced before he goes on Jeremiah's show. And after that, I'm sure everything will be public, and then we can talk to him and stuff. So maybe on the show. But and I asked him, he said something about the cave, and I started asking him questions about. Some of y'all will get this. Asking him certain questions, and he was like, yes. Well, he said that he's been told he's an empath, which a lot of y'all in here probably are. Hold on. And we discussed that a little bit, and I asked him about anything ever happened paranormal. And he said he used to see shadow people in that house. So, but yeah, it was a good Callum. Yes, I did. That's what got me started. Actually, I was 14 years old. It was 1985, and I was minding my own business. Didn't have a lot to do out where we live, so I would go walking in the woods. From 8, 9 years old, I started hunting when I was young. So when I was 14, I'd been hunting for quite a big percentage of my life. Well, I would go out and look at the fields at the house and see if I saw any rabbits or whatever. Well, long story short, I'm looking at the field, there's nothing out there, and then all of a sudden, from the left, something huge steps out on 2 legs. And we went back and guesstimated the yardage, about 170 yards, but there's nothing in between, all green field. And my dad was 5'8", and I'd seen him walking back from hunting, come around that corner tons of times. And he, whatever he was wearing, you could tell at that distance, that's not that far. and this thing was all one color, and it was the best I can describe it. When a Hershey bar, not the wrapper, dark, the dark color brown, but when you the actual color of the bar, the chocolate bar, that milk chocolate, that's the color it was from head to toe. No necklines, no boot lines, no pants lines. It was all one color. And the way it walked, I saw it for about 30 seconds ish. And the way it walked up the hill that I'd walked up a bunch of times, I knew right then it didn't do it the way we do it as humans. It was built different. It was huge. So anyway, that's what through this whole journey, I kind of felt like it knew who I was because I hunted in the woods. When it turned to look at me, kind of like an acknowledgement, like I know you're there. It didn't shock him when I don't know if it was a male or female. It didn't look as barrel chested as the Patty film, the one on Patterson Gimlin film. It was more athletic. I've been told by researchers that have been doing this for 5 decades that probably was a male, but like would be a teenager to us. In those type years, it was kind of it's weird. Trying to remember, because I was focused on the legs and the feet because of the way it was walking and its back, the way it didn't have as much body lean as I did when I did it. And but it just didn't look right. Now, if I saw something like that now, I hope I would be looking at different things. If it's close up, the hands, is the thumb back further than ours would be, whatever. But yeah, I actually saw one, and had some other things happen there that I didn't know what it was, but now looking back and knowing what I know now, it possibly was something that thing was doing, and didn't have nothing. I didn't have anything happen for 35 years. I hunted all that time. We moved from that spot. I hunted several acres. There was a 500-acre farm behind us. We had 143, and so it was a good spot for anything that wanted to live, but I never had anything happen. Never saw anything, never heard anything, until we started back hunting in 2020 at a new place. And then if you want to hear that story, look up my name, Roger Williams, Bigfoot Society, and I tell a lot of that up until a couple years ago, and then of course we've had a lot of stuff happen since. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to tell y'all that. It's always fun to put pins on the map, and what I told him, I said, just okay, I'm gonna respect you not wanting your name out there, just like I do a lot of people. I said, but I will tell you that you have neighbors that have seen them also. He said, oh really? I'm like, yeah. This is not the first report that I've taken from that area. And it made him feel better. And that's what this is all about, y'all. The people in here that don't know us, we're not trying to prove to other people, because that's almost impossible. If the shoe was on the other foot, if I'd have been 5 minutes later or 15 minutes earlier, stepping out there and looking at the field, I wouldn't be here right now talking about this, because people think you're crazy, and that's fine. But we're not trying to prove anything. We don't have to. But we do go and you can call it investigation if you want to. But if you're going to be out in the woods anyway, what's wrong with looking for tracks? What's wrong with looking for signs? We've had physical things happen. The new people that's in here, there's people in here that's caught audio that's been analyzed. There's tracks been found by people in this chat right now. And the reason we don't put it out there a lot is because all somebody has to do that's a skeptic say, oh, you faked that. Oh, well, okay, whatever. So you're not going to prove anything. We're not going to prove anything until science or the powers that be decide they want to let the other people know that they're actually real. And if you get into it, there's a lot of people just think, they say Bigfoot and they think one Bigfoot, and that's not true. There's family pods in different parts of the world. So the people that are here a lot, they know all that. But I'm just giving y'all a little bit. You can go look at a lot of these smaller shows and see and hear some amazing things and see some proof. One night we were doing a show and Kane pulls out a 24-inch track that he made. That he found it. He found them, and he made a track. And this thing covered. You couldn't see him hardly. So there's some pretty amazing things out there. But anyway, y'all want to go for a ride? And the thing is, I can't turn music on, or they'll get me for copyright infringement. Yeah, Callum, you're right. And here also, there's a lot of, Kunbo said on the show, it's well documented. We got a comment in the comments that, they laugh like, well documented. Well, so closed-minded people and short-sighted people, you say well documented, and they laugh about it, they may be thinking about a scientific paper like that is the end-all be-all, which it's not. I can promise you it's not. Does it help? Yes. Does it help describe some things? Yes, but they're not always right either, because there's a lot of things we've been told all our lives is complete bullshit. And these theories, they're theories, and they're accepted theories. There's one accepted theories in American history that's total crap, and Peyton dealt with it in 3rd grade. Y'all, Susan, hold on, dadgummit. Y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a test. Who made the first American flag? Who sewed it? Who sewed the flag and made it? Who designed it and made it? Any answers? And I used to know that right off the top of my head, but the reason I don't know it anymore is because I pushed it out of my memory. Betsy Ross. Thank you, Wendell. And see, I influenced you guys because so Betsy Ross, right? And because I said Susan, I accidentally almost said it. That kind of influenced y'all. This is the lesson for today. This is y'all's homework. Go to AmericanFlag.org. It's a government website. And the official story of the American flag is on there. Y'all go read up on it, see who really designed it. And it's 90 years later, Betsy Ross's nephew made the story up that she made the first flag, and everybody just accepted it as truth. It's in history books. That's not the truth. Bob Ross. And she didn't sew the first one either. Go check it out, y'all. It's kind of a cool story. The guy that designed it was jokingly that they asked what he wanted his payment, and I don't remember if he was in Congress or whatever, but he laughed and said a barrel of whiskey, basically, and they said no, so I think he ended up suing them for it. But anyway, y'all go read that. I'm going to go. Thanks for joining. I want to get these stories out there before I forget what was said. I don't know, Billy. I don't know. She designed a dollar back in the 80s, right? That we don't use. All right. Talk to y'all later. Let me call Heather back. She'd probably be mad at me because I hung up on her. Yeah. But Callum, what I was saying on that, um, yeah, all throughout history, this well documented. You got cave paintings. That's documentation. I don't care. You take a photo of something, and you 80 years later, that's documentation. You write something on a piece of bark on a tree, and it tells a story. That's documentation. It doesn't have to be somebody from Yale or Harvard to write and document something. It helps, but don't mean it's true. All right, I'll see y'all later. I'll see if I can hang this thing up.